Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 2 of the Chismis Corner podcast, brought to you by Pitt FSA. I'm your host, Michael Pacifico.
I'm Stanley Lynn.
And
I'm Bryce Valerio.
There we go. And our special guest for today is Bryce. And then his topic will be sports and hobbies. And before we get into that, we kind of want you, Bryce, to kind of introduce yourself in terms of like affiliation with FSA, like who you are, stuff like that.
All right. So, hi, everyone. I'm a senior here at Pitt. I'm the president of internal affairs. And this year for FSA, if you guys didn't know, we're doing co-presidency. So Caitlin is our president of external affairs.
Okay. A couple more questions in terms of like your introduction. Are there any expectations you have with you being a president that you kind of want to implement for this term?
That's a good question. I think for me personally, I just want to keep things on time. Like deadlines are really strict. That's like one of the big things with me, especially being previous BM and like dealing with all of the pressures of having to keep things on time. I think this year I really just want to implement like a policy of getting things done right away so we don't have to stress about it later on.
Okay. And since there are like two presidents, I don't know if that's been done previously for like FSA, what do you think that will like help you achieve for like your term as president?
Yeah, so this is the first year we've done a co-presidency. And honestly, between me and Caitlin, I think it'll work out really well because we both came up through different sides of board where I was more of like the admin and like internal stuff, and Caitlin was definitely more of the external stuff like social media and PR.
Okay.
So I think having both of us as presidents would be really good because it would allow us to like, better guide the other board members, especially on both of the sides of boards that I previously mentioned.
All right. Very nice. Very nice. All right, Stanley, got any other questions for the intro?
That's it, I think.
Okay.
That's it for me.
All right. So.
Oh, wait, little fun fact. Today we're filming at a different location today.
Yes.
We're throwing back to, let's say, my podcast last year when I was my first podcast on this.
Yeah, season 1, episode 2, we had Stanley as a guest.
We filmed at Leica's old
and
apartment.
We used Leica's apartment.
This year we're at my apartment.
Yeah, so full circle. Hopefully it doesn't follow the same trend as last year, but we'll keep it going. All right, so today's topic is going to be sports and hobbies. The reason why I wanted to add both those things is because I think for like Asian like families, sports has always kind of seemed as like something that kind of is like a hobby or like something that will help you excel in your career, but never something that you can pursue as the career itself. So we kind of want to talk about that. First things first is, Bryce, do you play any sports?
Yes, I do. I play soccer, and growing up, I used to do taekwondo. Fun fact, I'm a black belt, and I got gold in Junior Olympics for sparring.
Okay.
I don't believe it. Break the table.
What?
I don't believe it. Break the table right now.
Ooh.
I probably could, like, if I stomp on it hard enough, you know?
All right.
That's fair. That's fair. How long did you play like soccer and jiu-jitsu, like up until high school? Or?
So taekwondo I started when I was 5.
Okay.
And I got my black belt when I was 13. And the place where I practiced at, unfortunately, like we moved and it was way too far for me to keep going there consistently. So I think sophomore year of high school was when I officially stopped doing taekwondo and I stopped competing. But in terms of soccer, I started playing when I was in 6th grade, and I still play soccer today. So I played for a DA team in high school. So that's a development academy team.
Okay.
And then here I just play intramural because I think it's more fun. So it's not like too serious, you know. I don't have to worry about getting hurt. I don't have to worry about keeping an actual record or anything. So yeah, just less stress, more fun.
And like you originally grew up in like the California area, correct?
Yeah, I'm from LA.
Okay, LA area. So like, was soccer like the like sport of like the community there that you grew up with, or was it just something that like you liked?
I wouldn't say it was a sport of the community because, you know, soccer isn't really too big here. It's obviously it's getting a lot bigger. But when I was growing up, I just chose soccer because it seemed like the most fun to me.
Okay.
Like I couldn't play basketball because I was too short. I couldn't play football because again I'm too short, and I'm not like built like that, you know. So I just chose soccer because you know I'm already doing taekwondo. I might as well keep using my feet.
Okay. Very nice. Pass it to Stanley. Did you play sports growing up?
I did. I played multiple. Well, too many in my opinion. But I would say like junior soccer when I was in like elementary school, like second grade to like fifth grade, and then I switched to track and field in high school.
Okay.
Then I also did cross country in high school. Then I did rowing in high school, and then I also did football in middle school.
Okay.
Now I've transitioned to only rock climbing and weightlifting.
Interesting.
And I also did track and field. I forgot to mention that. And track and field in high school.
I hate running, but I still did it.
And that's good. And you were originally from Florida,
yes.
Right? Was that like the thing in the community, just being active whatsoever? Because you did a lot.
Not really. Well, because I went to private school, it was either sports or academics, and my sister was better at academics, and I was better at sports. So
okay.
I chose what I was better at. So
right, fair enough. And then for me, I really only played two main sports, which was soccer and football. I did soccer up until like I got to high school, and then I played football. Same thing up until high school.
What position football?
Football. I was a chubby boy, so they
defensive line.
They paid
defensive line. I was a linebacker.
Ah man,
third string.
I was like 3 pounds over, so they didn't let me play linebacker. I was very sad, but yeah. And
I
then
was also a very chubby boy in middle school.
It's okay. Sometimes they just need like a body to just be there. So that's all I was all about. And then I also played golf up until like the end of high school because my parents thought I was gonna be like a business major, and they just assumed that golf was like the posh like thing to do and like would be really good. So I don't play it as much anymore, but Top Golf still my favorite place. Okay, so for you specifically, Bryce, did your parents influence you like playing these sports? Like, did they support you with like whatever you wanted to choose?
I guess picking the sports, taekwondo is definitely like my parents' influence.
Okay.
Because I don't know. Like I said, I started when I was really young, so I didn't really have an opinion back then. I was just like a little kid doing whatever. So yeah, I think my parents wanted me to get into taekwondo, just because I think one of my other family members did taekwondo, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I should do it." So yeah, and then for soccer, that was my choice.
Okay.
So I think starting in middle school, I was trying to decide whether I should like stick just to taekwondo or just do soccer or do both.
Okay.
But yeah, so like I said, I started playing soccer in 6th grade, and that was still when I was also doing taekwondo. And at that time I was like, oh, maybe soccer isn't it, because I didn't really like running too much.
Okay.
Like I get tired really easily, but I guess I just got used to it, and then eventually I just stuck it. So
okay,
now I just play soccer. That's like my thing now.
So like
that's my big stress reliever.
For like you or your family, did you ever like think like sports was going to be like a career that you pursued, or did you always think it was like these are just a hobbies to get me through like high school, elementary, whatever?
Oh, absolutely not. I could have never done this as like an actual career.
Come on.
But
I believed it. I believed I always believed I would be I would say freshman year to junior year of high school. I was striving to be an Olympic athlete for rowing. But then college came, that dream just went down to the ground.
Oh, damn.
But yeah, like in high school when I played DA, there were times where I would get like opportunities to play with the actual like semi-pro teams that we were affiliated with. My team is actually affiliated with a team in England. Their name is Chelsea. If any of you guys have heard of Chelsea,
okay.
They won the Champions League a few years ago. Yeah, my DA team was affiliated with them. I remember my sophomore year, me and a couple of my other teammates actually got picked to go out there and practice with them for a little bit.
Okay.
I didn't go because I couldn't afford it.
Damn.
But my friends could, and they went. They all had a great time. They got to meet a lot of the first team players. They got to practice with the youth team, and I remember one of them got scouted, and the youth team wanted him to come back to practice with them on a trial.
Mm-hmm.
So that was really cool.
Okay.
I wish I went, but yeah, I could have never done this as a career. Like, one of the things my parents always like give me shit about was when I was playing too seriously, when I would like start getting mad at making small mistakes, and be like, oh, you shouldn't get too mad at yourself because, you know, you're not really going pro, so it doesn't really matter. Damn. I would just look at them like, yo, I know I'm not going pro, but like, come on, man.
At least your parents showed up to your games.
Yeah.
My parents didn't show up to my competitions.
Yeah, I was about to say. So like your parents like completely supported like you playing any sports, like everything like that, correct?
Yeah. It was mainly my mom. My dad was just like, he was just there to be there. He was just there for the vibes.
All right.
My mom was the one that would really get into it. Like, I remember one time she almost got into a fight with one of the other parents because their kid fouled one of my teammates, and the parents were like talking trash or whatever, and my mom just like stood up and was like, yo, you gotta get out or I'm gonna beat you up. And I was
there
like,
there it is.
Dude.
I see your mom doing that.
My mom would do that. I kind of wanted to see.
Hey man, that's motherly love right there. Yeah, like I also played soccer, but I was like terrible. I remember there was this one time I was in like, I think 5th or 6th grade, and it had just rained before our game started. I was playing in the midfield, and I remember like there was like 0 things happening near me, and I got really bored, so I just started playing in the mud. And I remember looking to like wherever like the parents were sitting, and I could see my mom, like she was like, don't you do that. And I was like, oh no, man. And yeah, I remember just like after that game, she was like, why'd you ruin your shoes like that? I was like, it's muddy. Like, what do you want me to do? And then she was like, ugh. But yeah, like my parents would like support me, but like, especially at least for soccer, like they knew like it was just for like socializing and like being like active.
That was me too.
So
my parents signed me up for YMCA soccer, like the local YMCA soccer. Did not fit in. I was the only Asian kid. I was a fat Asian kid.
Yeah, there's a lot of stories for that one, but let me see if we're gonna pass that. Okay, so for you, parents supported you. Stanley, what about you? Family?
Nope, not at all.
Not at all.
I don't think none of them. No football games. Was it the last game in my last season in middle school? I actually played for half the game. Surprisingly, I was awful, but I tackled 2 people, which is a great time.
There it is.
I accomplished something last game.
2 tackles? Okay,
that's pretty good.
I got close to a sack.
Did you hear the announcers when they say it?
No,
Stanley Lynn.
It was a middle school private game. They're not
what? I was in middle school and private school too. They had like announcers.
Yeah, but middle school football was not big of a deal as high school. So, but yeah, they didn't show up to any of my road competitions. They only asked me how I did the night when they came back from work. So
okay,
I just come back with medals, so that's fine. But I didn't get support. But
do you think like you would have wished like, especially for like maybe like the rowing one that you were talking about, where you were like, I wanted to be like Olympian. Do you wish that you kind of got supported in pushing for like one of these sports? Or
I think my senior year. I had to take half a year off for the typical SAT college app stuff. So I was a season behind in training. So, but I won. I got my team placed second that year. So
okay, we
were second in the state my year. But is what it is. We moved on.
So another question for both of you, so whoever wants to chime in, like, why do you think it is that like we aren't always like pushed towards like sports as like a career? Do you think it's specifically like our upbringing, or what do you think?
I think it's our upbringing, and also there's not really any representation that we can follow up on. So they're just like, oh, sports isn't for us, so we'll just stick to other things, you know?
Okay.
Like, you don't really hear about like just Asians in general in sports, like especially in the big leagues like MLB or like the NHL or NFL or like the Premier League. There's like a handful that you can pick, and I don't think that's enough to get people to be like, oh yeah, this is something that we could do, and this is something that we could probably like be really good at.
Okay.
And maybe dominate one time, but
all right. Well, like, so like here's one thing that like kind of like comes to mind is like, even though like Filipinos won't like support like maybe their kids like playing sports, they'll always support like other kids if they're like okay, they'll be like, you know what, that's good. Or for example, like Manny Pacquiao, every single time he's at a fight, there's a statistic that like 0 crime in the Philippines whenever there's a fight like that. So there's always going to be support and like love for like people who like play sports, but like they'll never like push like your kin to be like the next person. Like even I forget the first Filipino who won the weightlifting gold medal. I don't remember her name.
Heidelin Diaz.
Yeah, Heidelin Diaz.
Oh, yeah.
Like I didn't know she was like even in this category until like you see the post like first gold medal, blah blah blah, getting love from the Philippines, all the artists, celebrities, influencers, everything. But like prior to that, I had no idea. So do you feel like it's simply just like that mentality that like until like someone says you're good, we'll be like, oh, I support you.
I think people do say people are good at it, but the thing is they don't like, you need to produce like tangible results, so they're like actually like get an idea of like you're able to do it or not. So like you can probably win competitions, but like it's almost like a national level or like international level, there's no way. Because you see kids winning like local competitions, citywide competitions, state competitions, but like once you go national, you're not really recognized as like a athlete, I would guess.
Okay. All right, so I named 2 prominent Filipino athletes. Do you know of any other Filipino athletes? There's obviously football or basketball, so there are a couple names.
There's skateboarding from the last Olympics. As I want to talk.
The X Games?
Marjolin Arda Didal. I don't know how to say that name.
I've never heard of
it's
that name.
It was the
I've heard of her.
I think she won silver or bronze in the women's skateboarding last Olympics.
Okay.
That's because they introduced like, was it 2016 Olympics? They introduced, or 2020 Olympics? They introduced skateboarding as the new sport. Okay. And I think she won silver or bronze for women's skateboarding for the Philippines.
Okay.
That it segues to my question. What are some hobbies or sports you wanted to try? And like when you're a kid or now, given that like thinking back to like the new Olympics were like climbing, skateboarding, all these like obscure like hobbies going to like the national level. What are some things you want to try?
Honestly, for me personally, I didn't really think of any other sports that I wanted to try. Maybe swimming. Interesting. I did swim for a little bit, but I don't consider it as to be like a sport that I actually did. I just swam for like a year and called it quits. But yeah, like a lot of my friends swam in high school. Mm-hmm. So that was just a thing that I was like, oh, maybe if I kept on swimming, maybe I could be like them. But I don't know. I like swimming for like leisure and free time, but I don't think I could competitively swim. I think I'd actually drown. Like I would forget to come up during the middle of like a backstroke or something, and I'd drown myself.
We'll pop up. My sister almost drowned me in all 7 in the pool when I was swimming.
That's just love.
Snatched my goggles off my head. I can't swim with goggles because I have like sensitive eyes to chlorine. Same with goggles, so I don't want to burn my eyes. I took them off. I just drowned in the freaking 5-foot Eden pool when I was still really short. Damn. I was a 7, but back to the question. We'll segue.
Yeah, I think for me, so I remember. This could sound like a really sad story, but so I joined like a YMC type thing. Yeah. Like the typical like the youth group type thing for basketball. But I was still chubby at the time. And I remember it was the first day, it was like orientation. And I remember going into the locker room and like they were like, hey, 5 minutes, you got to go up to the like gymnasium or whatever. I got beat up in the locker room and I I was like, I can't. I was like, I can't show up to the. I can't even show up to the gym. I got beat up. And I remember like my parents stayed there because they were gonna like it was like a parent thing because I was really young. So like they're like it's like the basketball court and then there's like a second like.
Second level, like the observation.
And I remember going up to my parents and going, I can't do this. And they were like, what do you mean? Like you can't do this? I was like, they just beat me up.
Why'd they beat you up?
Yeah, why'd they beat you up?
I was just a chubby Asian kid, so I was an easy target. I was really easy target. Hey man, Pittsburgh's rough.
And personally though, I would have swung.
Man, hey,
I tried
swinging, man. But you know, three hits and I was down. I was chubby too, man. I got no endurance. It was a bad time for me. It was a very bad time for me. And then another like sport that I wanted to try was I think tennis.
Tennis?
I never like elementary there was nothing tennis. I remember I watched an anime called Prince of Tennis.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one though. That's a good one.
And I like was on like Toonami and I was like, dude, like that's wild. I was like, I want to use that. But I never got an opportunity to play tennis. But if I had the chance, yeah, tennis would be something just because of anime. But other than that, nothing.
I always want to try badminton.
Badminton?
I had little, you used to have these knockoff like badminton racks from like Dollar Tree. We buy them like we had them for like years, but like I was just so bad at it. I just didn't like playing it. But I think now that I'm older, I think I might have some interest in it.
My former roommate used to be the club president at Pitt for badminton.
It's really big in China. Like it's so big in China. They go like they're good. They're like insane.
I don't know. I don't know, man. Badminton, like I never played with my roommate, but I always watched, and I was like, this is not it for me. Like,
it's a little intense.
But I get that. It's like it feels like the like level above table tennis, but then like a downgrade from actual tennis. But interesting. All right. What other questions do you have on your side, Stanley?
And that's it for me. That's all questions I have on my list.
That's literally it for me too.
I don't know, man.
I do have a question though. So I only recognize two, like NBA players that were of Filipino descent. Do you know them? They both have. And they
Can you remind me who they are?
It's not Manny Pacquiao, by the way.
So one of them's name is Jalen Green. Yeah, plays for the Rockets. And then the other one's name is Jordan Clarkson.
Yeah.
But I forget which team he plays for.
Jalen Green's Filipino?
Jalen Green is Filipino.
Oh, what the heck? I didn't know that.
It's like a quarter or an eighth or something.
Oh, what? I didn't know he was Filipino.
But like, he's really popular in the Philippines. Like, I don't know. It's just the thing. As soon as you hear that someone's like an eighth, like even a 16th Filipino, as soon as they have like that little drop of Filipino in them.
But that's the thing I feel is interesting for like Filipinos specifically.
Yeah.
Like if you were to be like, I'm 5% Filipino and I'm doing something like cool, they're like, I supported you the entire time. Like I was your fan day one. But then if you were to be like, I'm 5%, like Chinese or something, they're like, I don't care. Like what do you do?
There are a lot of Chinese people like in like mainland China, they try to produce so many national athletes, but only so many make the cut, and we're just not good. We're so far below any other country in the Olympics. It's so bad. Like except like figure skating and maybe diving and swimming, but like and
table tennis.
But like anything like what was it like? What other sports Olympics like? I guess like
I don't know.
Like rowing, China's god awful. Rowing, and then
are there any winter ones that they're good at? Curling?
Skating.
Figure
skating, they're pretty good at.
Okay.
I don't like all like the really obscure hobby like ones. They're very obscure at.
That's because they're finding the niches. You know?
Yeah, it's like Chinese people are really known for like being like small and like lanky and skinny or like tall, but like they're not really known to be built and like strong and like powerful. So we're more like the recreational sports type, I would say.
But I feel like just like for Filipinos, like it never necessarily doesn't have to be like that you're like successful in something, but like if you are doing something that's kind of like, I don't know if the word is like out there, but like you're trying to achieve something and it's kind of like cool to like the community of Filipinos, they'll always ride with you.
Yeah.
Like I just don't understand it. Like,
It's like a like national pride. National pride.
yeah, I guess, but like, if like you didn't
It's like making it in America. It's like people. It's like saying it's like when a first gen college student graduates from their family. It's like a big deal. It's kind of like if you're like the first like national athlete from like your country. It's kind of a big deal.
I guess
It's only a handful.
I guess so.
Because I was like researching it like before this podcast, and I was like, I don't know any of these people. I was like, I know like maybe 3 of these people, and one was Manny Pacquiao.
Yeah.
That was it.
So I guess so. But like even for like the basketball one, like so like Jalen Green, like I think from like whenever he was in like high school or whatever, like he was always involved with like the Filipino basketball community. But then like Jordan Clarkson, like I don't think it was like the same connection for him. He just happened to be Filipino, and we were just like, that's my guy right there. That's my guy. So
He visits the Philippines a lot. He's on the national team.
He is?
Yeah. He doesn't play for the US, he plays for the Philippines.
Oh, okay.
So
we have Caitlin behind the camera today. So does Caitlin wanna
do you know any athletes?
Athletes
can you throw us an athlete?
I'm the most unathletic person out there.
Come on.
I feel like besides the ones that you said, I have none.
No.
I feel like I'm missing at least like one more person.
There are a couple of soccer players I know.
Okay.
They're
like playing
half Filipino. They don't play anymore. They're retired, but they were big when I was a kid because so they're brothers and their dad used to be like a coach. So they both played for Chelsea.
Oh,
and
it's a big deal.
Yeah, and then I don't know, for some reason they just like they could have represented the UK because I think they were pretty decent at that time.
Okay.
Like they could have played for the UK like national team, but they decided to play for the Philippines. And one of them ended up dating like an actor in the Philippines. Yeah, I forgot their names though.
Okay, fair enough. But like for some reason I always feel like whenever it's like other than obviously like the weightlifter Manny Pacquiao, like it's always like to me like the other half that like excelled them in the sport and not the Filipino side, which is it's okay, whatever, we'll take what we can get, but we gotta stop. We gotta like as Filipinos, they gotta stop with like the love for like mixed. What's the word? Mestizo, yeah. Because man, Filipinos, they like. I remember growing up here, I had a friend who was like just half white, half Filipino, and like all the like titas would just be like, if you go to the Philippines, you're a star. Like just
that's true.
Just go.
That's true. I have
what?
I have an audience back home, and he's half Filipino, a quarter Colombian, and a quarter white, which is weird. I don't know. That's a weird mix for me. But he's I guess he's only 18, but he's like I would say probably one of the most like outgoing people I've known in my life.
Okay.
He's kind of crazy, but so fun to be around.
Good. All right.
There's definitely bound to be like more Filipinos though. My prediction: football.
Really?
That's my prediction. It's really weird because I think so. In the area I grew up in,
kind of short.
It's like big on football.
Hey, safeties. My middle school safety. He was 5'3", and he was good.
Okay.
This looks
fast.
I don't know. Like if we're talking, okay, like in terms of like America, I can see football. What do you think in terms of like Olympic scale? I feel like for me, like Filipinos would probably like, it's got to be something in like the track and field area for me.
No,
I think
not good runners.
Not good runners.
I'm not saying like the jumping thing with like the sand. No, we're not making that.
I'd say like the reasons why I said football is because so I grew up in like one of the suburbs in LA, and there's these 2 private schools. I don't know, like if you're big on football, you've definitely heard of these 2 schools, but it's St. John Bosco and Mater Dei High School.
I've heard of Mater Dei.
St. John Bosco right now is the #1 team in the entire like US for high school football. St. John Bosco is like #2.
Okay.
And for some reason, they have Filipinos on their team playing on the line, and they're massive. like full Filipinos.
Okay.
They're built like Samoans, but they're Filipinos.
That's
So I'm saying it right now. If a full Filipino person were to go pro in like a team sport, it would be for football. It would because
and it'd be specifically the line or
they're
defense.
from Bosco or Mater Dei High School.
Okay, you know what? I can get behind that.
I can see that. I
can
have
get
a
behind
couple
that.
of friends in some old friends in where are they from? Modesto. They play in like I forget what the high school's called, but they're big. They're at least 5'11" or almost 6 foot, and they're like I would say they're like Mike size, and they're playing O line there.
Beautiful.
They're gonna. I think that my friend he's going to. I think he's playing football somewhere. I think Ohio State next year for a football full ride. I think
Okay.
I'm not really sure, but he's massive.
Okay. So if we were to rank like the top 3 next sports that are gonna like feature Filipinos, so we won't rank them yet, but we think football.
I think football because like Filipinos genetically we bulk really easily. Right?
Okay, there you go.
We got those calves on lock. Southeast Asian
I mean,
calves.
That is true. Calves
on lock.
I can't even buy anything that's skinny. It has to be straight cut.
I know.
Or loose cut.
I can't wear anything that's like skinny anymore. Like my thighs don't fit.
It's messed
My
up,
thighs
man.
don't fit.
It's messed up, man. But okay, so football.
I think football.
Weightlifting.
Weightlifting.
And then
Diving.
diving. Okay.
I think diving will be good. And then, yeah, I think that's it.
All right. So which one's gonna be the like number one? Like
I think
within the next decade,
I think
we'll see.
Within next.
I think weightlifting.
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 Yeah,
Yeah.
the Olympics in coming 2 years.
Okay.
Because I mean,
I
like,
think those tend to show off.
we're pretty good at basketball. Like, that's our number one sport.
Mm.
But I just don't think we can compete physically. Like,
Yeah.
some of us
Yeah.
can be really tall, like low sixes, but to be
That's still pretty
competitive,
tall.
it's still pretty tall. But I mean, like, if you're talking like NBA terms, you gotta be like
Yeah, I see that.
at
yeah.
least 6'6", you know.
I mean, yeah. If you're, I think low sixes. I think that's good for football.
Well, for like basketball, they were supposed to. I don't know if you guys know what the G League is. Like it's like this like academic like academy
Yeah.
for like most of like NBA. Like there was a Filipino. His name was I think Kai Soto.
Yeah,
I think I've heard of it.
Yeah, and he was supposed to be like a top 3 or top 10 pick for like the like draft that just happened, but then something happened and he just went undrafted.
The same thing happened to a guy from Notre Dame. He was like, I think the guy got a full ride to Notre Dame from high school, and he was like full Chinese. But then I think he was like top 20. I think it's like one of the top drafts this year, but he didn't get picked at all.
That's why they hating on this. They hating on Asians in general, man.
Oh, there's a quarterback in high school that goes to Bishop Gorman in Nevada. Bishop Gorman is like another really big football program. And they're also nationally ranked. But he's full Filipino. He's their quarterback right now. I forgot his name.
He got the height?
Got the height.
He's like
That's always the important thing.
if you know like Kyler Murray, he's like kind of short.
Damn.
He's like that. He plays like that.
All right, okay.
But
All right.
he throws some pretty good lasers out there.
All right, you know
I've seen his highlights.
We'll respect it. All right. So wait, what did we rank football as? So we weightlifting one.
I think
Football, which it's either the water
It's top
sport.
three. This is
I think
top
it's 3. I think diving is probably a little more versatile.
Yeah.
Okay, so football third, but it'll be on the come up. All right, I can see that.
I think football's gonna come up. Basketball's definitely up there. It has to be top 5. It has to be.
Maybe-
That's our
maybe-
number one.
It's number one in our hearts.
It's
but
number
not,
one in our hearts.
not-
Give it a
not
couple years.
physically.
Give it a couple of years.
Little more post pandemic time, and they'll get over the post.
I'll be honest. I feel like
natural selection will take its course.
yeah, that's true. But I feel like it's our food. I think all our food is just brown and delicious. So it's just it doesn't help with like the
Too
growth.
much cholesterol.
Yeah, they're gonna before they
It's
become
good for
tall.
bulking.
It's good for bulking.
Yeah, that's why they're good for
good for
Filipino
football
food.
players.
It's mostly meat and protein and some veggies. Like
It is.
Some veggies. There's like no veggies.
That's
no
true.
veg.
Crispy
Filipinos-
pata, sisig, adobo, it's all meat. Is just and rice is carbs and protein.
I was talking with Stanley about this like a couple weeks ago. I don't think there's a single Filipino dish that is specifically geared towards like a like a vegetarian.
Nope.
And not like a vegetable lumpia or something like that.
Oh,
Like
it was a lumpia.
no, yeah. Well, you
No,
can make
no.
any dish and just like minus it out, but
Make
there's
it
not like a
meatless sinigang.
yeah. But sinigang is traditionally
It's traditionally
Fish,
like pork,
yeah. Or
fish,
pork broth,
pork.
fish or pork broth.
yeah.
yeah,
So that don't count, man.
Yeah,
But
that don't count.
that's true.
So all I'm trying to say is, as Filipinos, if we want to be better as a
That's right.
community and in the the
That's why we said
sports,
weightlifting. It's great for bulking.
yeah, either keep on feeding us the brown stuff, or work something up. So
Soy sauce is like the base of all your foods.
yeah,
We gotta steal the Samoan diet, man. It's pretty similar. I think we could
Yeah.
definitely take it.
yeah. We gotta start ripping off people like cultures.
I mean, Filipinos are a blend of cultures
No,
anyway.
no, we're our own thing.
You
We're our own-
colonize like 3 different people.
Yeah, we're
No,
colonized by
no,
like
no.
3 different
I don't believe
countries.
it. I don't believe it. All right. So that was all the questions I had. Stanley, what about you? Anything else?
I think
Anything to
that's it
wrap
for
up?
me. I think it's good. Any question about colonization, but that's it.
Yeah, we're not gonna. I was about to say we're not gonna get into colonization or food, so we're just gonna wrap it up here. But before I wrap it up, any closing thoughts from you, Bryce?
Nothing really.
Okay.
But like, yeah, if you're watching, you're playing sports, keep doing it.
Facts.
We need more.
Yeah. So specifically for both of you, and I'm talking to Bryce and Caitlin, since you guys are the presidents, at the end of next semester, we will have you guys back on, and we will kind of have a wrap up of how the whole year went. So just to clarify everything from your side, what are the expectations for this year?
Ooh, this year definitely we gotta get a speaker. Last year we couldn't. One
I
of the only reasons
I nominate
was
Dante Bosco.
Dante Bosco.
I nominate
want
him-
Dante
I
Bosco.
nominate whoever the speaker is to come on the podcast.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yo, Dante Bosco.
I'll be down.
yeah. One of the only reasons why we didn't get a speaker last year is just because we didn't take into account personal travel expenses,
Mm.
because we initially thought that the payment was going to be all in one, because that's what it was marketed as. It was an all in one payment, and then we just got hit with this email later on towards when we were supposed to have the speaker, and it was just oh, don't forget, we also have to pay for travel, for lodging, the plane ticket, because they were from California. We had to pay for the plane ticket, so that would have put us over budget by so much.
Damn.
And yeah,
What if y'all just did no speaker this semester and just pulled all your money from this semester and just get Bruno Mars next?
there's
Yeah.
no way
Yeah,
we
yeah.
can
I
find
want Bruno Mars on
Yeah,
this
wow.
podcast. I want to get
Wow.
a live song on this podcast.
Yo,
Wow.
let's get Silk Sonic out here.
Ooh.
Or Manila Killa. I want Manila Killa on this podcast.
But yeah. All right. So is that the only thing you want to wrap up with, or anything else?
We need to get a speaker.
Get a speaker?
That's my only goal. We gotta work towards getting a speaker that everyone wants to see.
All right,
Someone
facts.
that's worth waiting for.
All right.
Someone to close out the end of the school.
Bosco.
Dante Bosco.
Dante Bosco.
Alright. Noted. I'll keep that in my mind.
All right. Well, with that being said, that is the end of episode 2 of the Chismis Corner podcast. Thank you so much for watching. I'm your host, Michael Pacifico.
I'm your other host, Stanley Lynn.
I'm Bryce Valerio.
And goodbye. Thank you for watching.